Well, good morning. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Mine was really good. I got to go over and help the drummer in my band get his recording studio all dialed in so that we can hopefully start recording some new material for the band Some People. And we may have a new record coming out in the next, I don't know, it'll be an EP. Nobody records a whole record anymore. At least nobody smart records a full album anymore. Full records are kind of a thing of the past, and it's the way the music industry has gone. But today, on my bench, I have a Fender Squire Bullet Strat that needs some TLC. And there's a few things I'm eyeballing it and looking it over for the first time. This guitar is going to belong to one of my students who he's been taking lessons with me for a couple months on an acoustic guitar, and this seemed to have motivated him to play. We had him plugged into a little PV Viper amp at his last lesson with this guitar. And he actually played guitar for the first time for real. So we're going to hook him up with this guitar for a very affordable price. But I'm going to set this thing up as if it were my own, and we'll make it play. I'm probably not going to put a whammy bar on this for him initially. We'll just see how that goes, but I'm going to set it up with the whammy bar locked down, at least for now. And maybe a few months down the road we can get him using the whammy bar. I don't want to mess him with that too much on this particular guitar, specifically because I'm not going to be able to put I'm not going to put a bone nut on it, and I'm not going to do all of that. I'm going to get it cleaned up and set up and ready for him to play, and I'll treat it again as if it were my own guitar. So that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. And let's see, I have failed to get my string winder, so we're going to pull the strings off this thing first thing, and we'll get this thing all ready to go for him. He's a good kid, and he's just gotten back to school, so we've talked a little bit about schoolwork and things like that, and all of my students know that their homework is to be done first before they play their guitar. Although they have guitar homework every week. Every student of mine has homework that they have to work on. We set goals, and that is part of their itinerary, is to meet a goal that we set for each lesson, so that the next week they come back, they know how to do something that I have asked them to do. And this young man has obviously not been playing his guitar much at all in his time at home, as is with many students. A lot of kids think they want to play guitar, or mom and dad think they want to play guitar, but when they get home, they get their homework done and they do video games, or they have swimming practice, or soccer practice, or basketball practice, or softball practice, or all of the above, and they don't play their instrument enough because I'm not there. We do one lesson a week generally for most of my students, and that lasts for all of my students, and that lasts for a half an hour. So it's not a lot of one-on-one time with the guitar instructor to get them to play, and I cannot make them play. And I ask parents, do not demand that your child or student plays their guitar. If they want to learn to play, it's something that they should do on their own. It's kind of like playing baseball or football, where a lot of the activities with respect to playing guitar and musical ventures are very similar to athletic activities, where a person will really fall in love with it, or they just don't really like it that much, or they get I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. They get not terribly motivated because it's difficult, so they just don't do it very often. And so you know, again, I don't encourage parents to, you know, demand your kid play their guitar. That's not fair to the child. If they fall in love with it and they want to learn to play, they will. They'll do that on their own. A good policy that I've found and that worked for me as a youngster, I mean, I fell in love with it the moment I played a chord on a guitar, but is just to ask your child, if you have a youngster that's taking lessons, or you know a young person that's taking lessons, and maybe mom and dad are paying for it, or grandma and grandpa, ask them if they've played their, hey, did you play your guitar today? That's a great way to motivate a young person to play. It's not telling them they have to. It's just a little reminder. And that's really all I recommend that folks do. Because to learn to play guitar at a level, or, you know, at a good level where they could be potentially playing at open mics, or maybe even playing in a band, you know, it's something that they're going to have to put a lot of time and effort into, at least most people who are just learning to play. So that's enough of that today. My name's Hurt. Hello, man. Welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Let's see. So I'm using my Richard 65. My good friend THEFALCRO gave me a huge bottle of this stuff that he bought, thinking it was a small bottle, and it was a huge bottle. We all love THEFALCRO. He's a wonderful guy, very positive, cool dude. I've gotten to hang out with him and have him at my house, and y'all know his good old guitar Ruby is currently residing at my home, and so I'm lucky to have that beautiful instrument at my disposal whenever I want to play it. I have played it a little bit since it's been there, so I haven't seen him for a while or spoken with him much, but hopefully things are going well. And again, this is going to be just basically just a setup and a cleanup. Oops, I need a new rag. This thing got dirty this last week, and I've been working on a guitar that required a lot of chiseling, and I'll get to that one hopefully later today, depending on how far we get on this one and how busy I get here at the shop. So we'll see what happens. So now already this thing is looking a whole lot better. Definitely has some scratches on the pick guard from somebody digging into it. So this thing has been played a little bit for sure. I don't think this guitar got to somebody's house and just sat there and didn't get used, which is glorious, but unfortunately the person who bought this guitar just decided not to play, so they brought it back in, which I immediately found a home for it. The day that this arrived, which was last Friday, this thing ended up in the hands of one of my students. What's happening? Sure, I'll be right back. I've got a client I've got to go help. Hang on. So you can look at this Squire guitar. What's happening?
So I wanted to install a stereo in my truck, and only one of the speakers is working, the other three aren't. And so then I used a test speaker, just took the wires straight up to the stereo, and it worked on that speaker. But I can't get it to work on the speakers in my truck. And I was going to put new speakers in, but I'm not going to spend money to figure out the wiring thing.
Okay, so you want us to get you in to have one of our techs check the wiring,
Yeah.
make sure the wiring's hooked up properly.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at our calendar and see what kind of time availability we've got. Oh, yeah.
That would be leaving town, so
Let me see what we got. Today's the 23rd. I have absolutely nothing scheduled today.
Okay.
I could have our checks on it at 12 o'clock.
Oh, Fox
Here at noon, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have it here at 12, or you can just leave it here if you like?
Yeah, I'm not going to get it here, but I'll come back at noon.
Okay,
For sure.
let me get some information
info from you real quick. I get one over going.
Okay.
Just because I got to give this to our tech so we know what to expect.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me have you just fill out as much information on here as you can on the top, and I'll get some notes down.
Okay.
One speaker works.
Yeah.
With regard to the speakers that are working, which ones are working?
The driver's door.
The driver door, okay.
Yeah.
And then you have two rear speakers in that also?
Yeah, on each door. There's four on each door. And then the speakers I got there that I had that I was testing them with were aftermarket, and I wasn't getting any power from the factory plug-in, and I cut the wire and did that troubleshooting.
Okay, so you bought new speakers.
Well, yeah, they weren't the right size though. I was just using it to test. Somebody got them for me as a gift.
Okay.
They weren't the right size, and then I just wanted to test to see if it was the speaker that's bad or it was the wiring.
You tested with the stereo? So
Yeah.
We have a way of doing that.
Yeah.
You save yourself a whole lot of time. I doubt it's the speakers that are bad. There's probably a situation where we run into this a lot. Where door speakers and speaker wire where the hinge for the door goes. They're running through that and they get brittle.
Well, yeah, I just got the truck and the stereo that was in it wasn't working, so I don't know if the speakers were already messed up or.
They'll diagnose all of that. Now, do you want them, if they discover that the speaker wires are broken between the terminal and the stereo head unit and the speaker, you want them to run the speaker wire?
Yep.
Okay.
What do I do for the park?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
When you come in, you'll be parked probably right. Park
Yep.
wherever you can.
Okay.
And we'll get you. Okay, Donald. We'll see you at 12 noon.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. What's that? Oh.
Yeah, that's not yours.
Okay.
It's this guy.
We'll take it. Come on. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
LeGrand Stereo and Music. This is Marshall. Wonderful. Brian, I'm doing great. Good to hear from you. Sure. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put you on speakerphone. Give me just a second. This should work. Can I still hear you? Oh, the speaker on this phone is broken. Okay. Hey, can you call me back on my cell phone, Brian? I probably have yours. I'd like to talk to you. Okay, let me double check. I'm pretty sure I do. It's Brian. Let's see. Hang on. I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Hang on here. I know I got your number in here, brother. I've called you 1,000 times. Right? I do. I'm gonna call you on my cell phone. Okay. Bye. Okay. Clients wanting me to do some modifications. I love it. That's cool.
Hello, Marshall.
Hey.
All right, dude.
So,
Here's what I got in my brain rattling around that I want to do.
Okay.
Now, I've never liked the darkness of Les Paul neck pickups, right? I always like brightness, try to get like a single. So I've got like a 7K pickup there, and that's fairly bright. I had you put a .01 cap on it, which I love when I turn the volume all the way down. But what I found out is like, I either have it all the way open or all the way down. And I thought, what if I was to replace the tone knob on that pickup with a little mini toggle switch?
yeah.
And put a little dual pole, dual throw, whatever they're called, the little mini switch, and have it where either the pickup is wide open or you switch in the cap.
Okay. That is an easy button to install. And
oh, my.
Yeah, and I actually, dude, you're not going to believe this, but I literally just ordered, I think they just showed up this morning, some double pull, double throw switches, mini switches that are chrome.
Oh, wow.
I think I just got those. Let me double check, because I've got a Schecter in here that's got the Sustainiac pickup in it, and he broke the toggle switch for it. So, and no, I didn't get those yet, but they're on their way. So, dude, I lied. I have it right here in my hot little hand. I'm not kidding. So, your timing is impeccable, Brian.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, that would just be something we could put it in line, in the cap. So ultimately, when you throw that switch, there's several different ways, because that's basically just an on-off switch.
Well, I'm looking for basically the either or, like on, like two position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where I can go one way and it's wide open, and one way and it's the cap.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It'll activate the cap. Yep. We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, because I end up using it either or. I go all the way up or all the way down. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It seems like a long travel to get that knob all the way down when I could just flick a switch,
Right. I got you. I see what you're doing. Yeah, that's kind of an odd request, but totally doable. 100%. But you're a very specific kind of player. I know you like what you like, and you know what you want, so let's do it.
All right, man. Sounds good. Probably won't be till like next week, but yeah, I'm going to get over there.
Okay. Then I will look forward to seeing you, and I know it's a bit of a drive for you, so if we can make arrangements, it's possible that I could do that work for you while you're in town and save you a trip.
Wow.
But
oh man, that would be sweet. That would be awesome.
Okay. So not knowing, I don't know what day you're going to make it over here, and let's just let that ride. But go ahead and call me. Save my number on your phone if you don't already have it.
I will, for sure. I do have you. I didn't know if I did, but I do.
Okay.
Because when you called, it's right there, Marshall Turner. So.
Perfect. Well, go ahead and call me, and when you know what day you're going to come over, give me a couple days notice, and my bench will be cleared for you.
Okay, man, that's just great, Marshall.
Okay.
Hey, how about an alternative way to look at it? Why don't you pick a day?
Okay, for next week?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just go with Monday.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Sure does.
Monday's a good day for me because I don't have any students all day long. So,
oh, perfect.
Yeah, that allows me to have the full day undivided attention.
Okay, brother, let's do it.
Okay, so we'll see you next Monday. If you can be here at the shop at 11 o'clock in the morning, that would be awesome.
Oh, that's about opening time, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's when we open. You can show up early if you want. Drink some coffee in the parking lot.
Yeah, right. Sounds good. I've done it before, yeah.
Okay.
I always end up early, man. It's just the way I am. Like when I got an appointment or whatever it is, going to work, and I'm always kind of an early guy. I like to.
Understood. I wake up late.
Eventualities.
I stay up late and wake up at like 9.
Wow.
But I don't go to bed usually until 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah.
you know, I got to get my beauty rest.
Right on. Hey, man, when we get to a certain age, we got to pay attention to that stuff, man.
Yeah. Okay, brother. We'll see you. We'll see you Monday next week.
Sounds good.
Okay, wonderful. Take care, Brian. We'll see you then.
Thank you. All right. You too. Bye.
Okay. Hello, this is Marshall. Look at. Okay. Yeah, our phones are ringing off the hook. Okay, let's get back to this thing. I do want to get a little bit of the guck out of the bridge and saddles here. So we're gonna take a Q-tip here and try and get rid of some of the guck here on this. And this metal looks a little bit pitted, but not bad. This young man's going to get this guitar as a gift, and so I want it to look good and nice for him. And I sent Mom a photograph of or a little video I took of the guitar this morning before I got started cleaning her up, just so she has a before and after idea of what the young man's going to get. And he's a really good kid, really wants to play. I don't think he realizes how much time dedication it takes yet, but now that he's had an electric guitar in his hand, I think he realizes the potential to play an E and an A chord together in time was really cool. And of course my blood glucose is going to go high just because that's what time of day it is when I do a live stream. It has to. Okay, so I got to take some insulin. So we'll just pan over here while I'm taking my insulin injection, which is not what this video is about, but this is a fact of life for me. Every day I have to do this multiple times, and I've been waiting for about 4 months now to get an insulin pump, and I've been went through all the process of talking to the people at the pump place, and that was close to a month ago, and I still haven't gotten word on an insulin pump. I think they want me to go see an endocrinologist just to play the red tape game, because I know more about diabetes than any endocrinologist and how to take care of my disease, but they won't give me an insulin pump without seeing that person, just to keep the medical expenses up in our country. So that's what I believe is happening there. We've got to keep as many people involved in making a health care curing decision versus just curing somebody. We all know that whole game. So anyway, that's that. So I'm taking my shot now. Back to it. Sorry if I'm not sorry. There we go. Okay, so let's clean up these frets. We'll check the volume pots, and they seem to feel pretty good. Gotten this thing a little cleaned up, so we're going to go ahead and polish up the frets. Now we're going to do a typical guitar repair setup slash fixing slash make it look pretty job on this one.
Carol Weaver just called.
Okay.
I think she is the. She said that she sat down to watch her TV and she turned it off, turned it back on, and she lost all of her settings. And she didn't know if that was something Joey fixed.
Monday is the busiest day of the week, and it's the day that we have the fewest people here at the shop. which is with small businesses, as you all probably know, you can't afford to hire anybody, but everybody expects you to treat them as if you work at Walmart, where there's 18 people doing the exact same job. It's kind of sad the way our country has gone with respect to that. But that is the way it is. We are a very small business. And we just one of our guys that's usually here on Mondays is starting college classes today, which we're all very proud of him. So his number of hours being able to be here to help us here at the shop have been greatly reduced. So as when it rains it pours, you know, that's the way it goes. And I've just taken on some more work for next week. On Monday I have a wiring mod to do on a Epiphone Les Paul. It's going to be an interesting modification. It's unique, very cool. My friend Brian has been bringing his guitars to me for a long time, a lot of times just to do wiring modifications on his instrument. And let me see. Kevin, hey, what's happening, bro? Good to see you, man. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in our world. Those of you who don't know Kevin, he is a bass player that has played bass for my band when we needed someone to fill in, and he did a fantastic job for us, and maybe sometime in the future he'll do a fantastic job for us again. We'll just see what happens. We have found a young man who is a really great bass player, and so he's kind of become our permanent bass player at this point, but we will book shows that he will be unable to do due to work or life activities, things like that. And so we may need Kevin again, but unfortunately, our friend Kevin has moved on with his career and had to move out of our area, so we're really kind of sad to see him go, but best for him.
And Marshall.
I don't work on guitars.
Yeah.
Joey's
A bad penny always shows up. It's Marshall, right, Tracy?
Yes.
We met the other day.
Exactly.
This is his in training.
You know, listen, it's been even though I'm an old bird, I have a huge interest. I did all my own setup on my bass. I had to put copper behind, like things. Brown power is a thing. If you got an old house, if we used to live in New Mexico and we had an old house and you go to plug in and what do you got? So you guys carry a little bit of everything.
Oh
man.
yeah. We have TVs, home studio.
Tell me your full name again.
I'm Marshall.
Marshall, what's your last name?
Turner.
Turner, Marshall Turner, Tracy
Yes.
Coleman, Mike Mallory. I'm sorry,
Yes.
you guys. I have to
That's all
sometimes.
right. What are we doing for you?
Nothing. I'm just trading strings and loitering around like a
Bring your
turd.
phone down and have Marshall put them on for you.
So you know what? Here's what I told Marshall. You can't carry your own strings. You can't carry your own gear. You shouldn't be playing the instrument.
Well, you get a lot for your string changing.
All right. We're just cleaning the fingerboard like always, just to make sure that this young man gets a nice, beautiful, ultimately new guitar. It'll look better than it did the day it got here from the factory. I don't know how old this instrument is, but again, Kevin, dude, it's really great to see you. I know you've probably been super busy. We had that little run there where we were playing together quite often. That was pretty cool.
I don't know what it is, but I opened part of it.
Oh, is that mine?
Yeah. What did I get?
Oh, got my shoes today.
Oh, awesome.
I ordered some new shoes. All right, got my new Cons today. I went ahead and ordered some Converse. I haven't had a pair of Chuck Taylors in a long time, so really excited. That's cool. I like to wear those playing live. They're a good product because they keep your footprint fairly small because they fit your feet real tight. They don't have a bunch of extra sole sticking out all over the place. So we'll see. I think I ordered just straight up black ones with the black Converse logo and everything on the side. And I did order custom fit ones because I have to really be careful with my feet, as we all should be. Okay, so fingerboard's nice and clean. We're going to let that settle in here for a minute. So let's get some cleaner on a rag, and we'll clean up the headstock. Give this a good wipe down. Hopefully my camera doesn't get unplugged here. This I still haven't bought a new camera yet, but and I can see that this is a little bit loose, so we'll tighten that down. And oh, we have a price tag. We have a price tag on the top of this thing. Let's get that off of here. There we go. Okay. And it's cool how this guitar worked out to become my student's guitar, simply because it's cool. I'm not talking to myself.
No, I know. I'm just
okay.
wondering.
You make yourself right at home.
Yeah, I know. A music store is always.
Aren't they fun? Okay, so that was just a loose screw, and that's good. We're gonna check these.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, we got a boatload of t-shirts
You
in.
guys got everything cool. It's just.
Classic music store.
Yeah, no, it's the way to go. Old school.
Man.
When we used to live in Portland, our friends would go to Centaur Guitar.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that showed up after I left Portland.
Yeah, we left in 2019.
Yeah.
We went to New Mexico and then in New York. I had a day job that I did forever and just played, just a hobby bass player, play wherever I can and catfish around because I'm,
Yep.
just whatever, just whatever. But Portland got weird and it got expensive and it got freaky and.
I was a journeyman plumber in Portland in the year 2000.
You were?
I was making
Marshall?
6 digits and I could not afford to live there.
I was a nurse.
It was yeah. My wife, ex-wife, was a nurse.
But yeah, it's
It got so you to try and save for buying a house at a down.
No,
forget
you're
it.
fucked. And
Yeah.
not only that, but I'm telling you, you can't even we have friends who, here you can live,
Yeah.
and actually maybe survive, make it.
All you do is drive to work, drive home, go to sleep, and do it again the next day. There's zero money for going out to dinner, zero money for enjoying your life.
And you don't
just
make shit
work.
on gigs in Portland because the market's saturated.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That and the weather sucks.
Yeah.
So, at least over here we get at least 3 months of nice sunny weather.
And you got the hot springs out there. I mean, that's been all the deal for me. I was.
Yeah.
Marshall, I'll tell you what. Last November, I was fucked. I got this weird. It's called polymyalgia rheumatica. It hits chicks over 60, and that's me, man. And it just took me down. I couldn't work. My husband's a drummer. We weren't, you know the deal. What the fuck? Everybody's got a story, right? But but I mean, I was a traveling nurse. I was working in New York, upstate New York. We had to get out, and here we found we live across from Mike in a tiny little house over there.
Well, at least you guys are buying a house. I'll never be able to buy a house.
You know what?
Not doing the kind of work that I do for the wages that I get paid.
It's the only reason I was able to do that is because I was a nurse. And I sold my house in Portland at the top of the market. It was in Park Rose, where all the homeless people sit on the streets. Right?
I know the city better than I care to.
My friend,
Yeah.
I lived there for 19 years. I got lucky.
Yeah.
Even a blind squirrel gets a nut.
Yeah.
And you're right. Having a job and having a house and a car is a privilege, not a right. Not everybody can do it.
Yep, and I own my car, but you know I bought that when I was raising a child and had to, you know.
Yeah, you get a couple of ex-wives on your hand and you're fucked.
Just one, and I escaped that with.
I married a drummer, man, and let me tell you, it's a good. You
was
know
he the
deal.
pizza delivery guy?
You know what? Here's the thing about the guy. He's a really good drummer and he's pretty handy. So he's painting. He's fixing up this house that we bought because God knows we can't afford to do all that shit.
Right.
You know?
Pay somebody to do that.
Anyway, hey man, you're a cool dude.
Yeah, it's nice to see you
How
again.
are you? What a bad penny shows up again, man. See you later. Have a good day, guys.
Oh boy.
See you later. Hey, sorry. Thank you for doing this for me.
I didn't see you. All right. We're going to get this tape off of the fingerboard, and forgive me for not paying a lot of attention to the chat at this point, you guys. I'm going to take a look and see what folks are, what we're talking about over here. If there's any questions or anything, I hope everybody's having a great Monday. Lubbock, oh gosh, okay, boy.
They don't carry any double-din JVCs anymore.
My knees hurt. Yeah.
You know, they have a few stragglers, you know, and
yeah, I never want to go back. Simple Green, yeah, I use Simple Green. That's all I've ever used on cleaning guitar necks. And it was fun to see, you know, famous YouTuber Dave from Dave's World of Fun Stuff. He uses the same stuff. So I know that I'm not wrong. It does a great job of getting things clean and not leaving a big residue on it. But yes, and it's not something that you have to do every single time you put strings on your guitar. You know, it's definitely something that maybe every other string change or so. If you notice that you've got guck on your fingerboard, it definitely works to get rid of the DNA, is what I call it, off of the fingerboard. Yeah, Simple Green. And I'm going to have to get a new bottle of it. I've gone through, I don't know, 4 bottles of it in the last 10 years of working on guitars. So it's not like I go through a bottle of it very often. All things in moderation, right? Here's a little side note for Kevin. You remember when we were playing at the Big House Brewery in Walla Walla? And I don't know if you're still here or not, but you might remember that there was some music going over at the park, kind of across the street from where we were playing. And we could hear it, so we pointed our speaker over at the park. I don't know if you remember that, or even if you're here, you may have already tuned out. But nonetheless, we are being booked for that event in Walla Walla. So rather than playing at Big House on a Friday night, we'll be playing at the park, because they're doing the downtown city music thing that we had to listen to while we were playing, which was really cool. So I'm going to use some more Simple Green, just good old-fashioned Simple Green, to try and see if I can remove this tape. It's taking the tape marks right off this side of this guitar. So now, and any other guck that might be on here, going over the side of this real well. Amazing. Those that do the most get the least recognition. That's how it goes. Okay. So I've gotten the tape off of this neck. That's a good thing. I don't know why somebody put tape on the neck, but hey, that's takes all kinds. Alright, so now we're going to take some good old-fashioned polish. Guitar 65, THEFALCRO 65. If you haven't met the THEFALCRO, go to his YouTube channel and sub up to him. I didn't see you.
Yeah, I'm not here.
You might also let him know that his guitar is still at my house. And I don't think I'm going to get to Portland anytime soon, because in this day and age I can't afford gas to get there. Being a hard-working single young man that I am. There we go. So this fingerboard, yeah, somebody took some steel wool to it or something and knocked the finish off of it. Out in here, I can see the scrapes of the steel wool or whatever they used for it, which is fine. Yeah, put some big gouges in it for me. What are you up to?
I came down to get some money.
Oh, cool.
Because I like money.
I need to do the same thing one of these days.
But it was from Chris, it wasn't from Mike. So.
Oh.
And I'm taking care of, I came down to annoy you.
Oh! Well, you're not doing a very good job of it. Hi from Japan, Pop P. Welcome to my show. Hey, my knees hurt. Would you mind being a moderator on my channel? If you would, I'll make you one. Because I'm currently allowing anyone to come onto my live streams. And Poppy, welcome to my channel. I've been a YouTube creator for, I don't know, well over 10 years. And I have 800 videos plus or so on my channel. And some of it's music, and a lot of it is just doing what I'm doing right here. And I've only really recently in the last couple of years gone to doing live streams of guitar repair, because honestly they can get a little bit boring because it gets long-winded, and you know, watching somebody do you know, set up a whole guitar most people know how to do most of this stuff. But once in a while I do something a little different than others, and people learn something from it, so I'm happy to share it. Because also I live in a very small town, and a lot of folks in the world do live in small communities where they don't have a tech, with my experience living close by. So a lot of times the work can't be done. Or they can't get work done. So my hope is that my channel will help folks like that learn to do repairs and fix things on their own if they can't take it to a tech to have it done, or a luthier or whatever. So that's the whole point of my channel. And I also I want to say thank you to my sponsors, Bill, Diet Pepsi, and Fender, for all of your support. Ernie Ball, I appreciate all that you guys do for me, and I'm grateful for that. Oh, cool, Pop, appreciate it, man. How's the weather in Japan? It's beautiful summer-like weather here in northeast. I'm living in northeast Oregon. I'm in a real small town over in the west coast of the United States. We're having some beautiful weather this week. We're going to be hitting the 80s this week, it looks like. So really gorgeous, gorgeous weather. That's really beautiful. All right. All right. I appreciate you doing that. That's very kind of you. I have a really small YouTube channel, as YouTube channels go. You know, kind of started this thing back in the day when I was playing in a band that I thought I would do a bunch of, you know, live videos of the band playing live shows and things, and that kind of fell through. So I let it sit there for 10 years, or nah, not 10 years. I let it sit there for about 5 years. I really started getting active in about 2016 doing guitar repair videos. Yeah, I've been rolling along ever since. And I'm happy to share this info with folks. And I am busy, believe me. It's amazing how massive our guitar community is here in this little space in the world. And also the shop that I work for, and I've been here for close to 17 years, right at 17 years, I think. We've been open for 50 years now. So it's an established music store. We're a small mom and pop, is what they call them, type shop. It's more of a pop shop because our founder is Mike, and he's a great boss and takes really good care of all of us here, keeps us busy. And he's allowed all of us to kind of take on our own little personality here at the shop. And when I say all of us, there are literally 4 of us that work here. And we are open 7 days a week. So, we are pretty busy dudes. I know weather is just a kind of a small talk thing, but I'm just doing stuff that everybody's seen me do on my channel 1,000 times. I am using linseed oil again on the fingerboard. As you all know, if you've been here, you know what I use. And this needed some oil. It hadn't been oiled obviously for a long time. The wood was really dry and pretty dirty. So now the fingerboard, I wish I had shown you, looks like that. So after polishing up the frets and cleaning them off, it's quite a change from 20 minutes ago. Right, that thing looks beautiful. All right, so we've got everything clean. We're going to check the fingerboard real quick for straightness. I like to, when I'm working on a guitar like this, I like to make sure the fingerboard's flat. So I'll get you a look at what I'm doing here with this. Hopefully my camera guy's keeping up with me.
You don't want it roll like a wheel?
So sitting here.
Your name, phone number really clearly. Okay. And basically that no information.
I hope that doesn't offend anybody.
Doesn't offend me at all.
Okay.
Boy, that's pretty darn good.
Somebody who's so unlike.
That is really pretty darn good. It's actually got a little bit of a back bow, so but it looks pretty good. Not what I was expecting. We've got a 4mm, so I'm going to loosen the truss rod just a little and see how much that changed things. Boy, that little move right there made this move a lot. So now I've got a big underbow in it. God, that's amazing, really.
I was thinking he probably would.
Let's see if we're back to where we started. Okay, there we go. Now the neck is looking a little bit more like what I would expect. So got some underbow in it. And we got some really serious underbow out here around the 12th fret, at least on the treble side. Yeah, pretty consistent. I want to try and bring this up a little bit out here in the middle. So let's see what we can do. So I'm tightening the truss rod a little bit to bring the middle up. And that move right there moved the neck to where you can probably see my my fret leveling tool rocking on there. So boy, these tiny little movements are, this truss rod is really working well. There we go. That's about as close as I can get it. Now again, this is a probably brand new. This guitar was likely 200 bucks. So we can't expect it to be like a custom shop Strat, which is where, you know, a lot of guys that play guitar buy guitars like this, and they expect it to be like a Fender custom shop. See, hey, order for Anna. Since today is the first day of classes. Let me go ask about that. Let's see.
All right, see you later. All right, bye-bye.
Give me a moment, I'll check on Anna's work order.
Hey, Mike? Yeah? Did we get a guitar or something in from Anna over the weekend? We did. Did a guitar come in for someone named Anna for a mother? Oh, I don't know. I wasn't here. Okay. Is there one back there? No, somebody's online. They said they dropped that off their work order. It could be something that happened.
So, if an instrument or SSG Devon, it's Saturday to drop it off. Oh, Anna, is that that's your Ibanez? Mr. Devon, yes, I did. And I'm going to take some time to get this one fixed up for my new student. I have that guitar here, and hoping to get started on it a little later on this afternoon, brother. So I didn't recognize the name, and your guitar is definitely here. Yep. And we will be... Now this is cool, and I want to introduce y'all. My knees hurt. Everybody, Zach. Hey, Zach, what's happening? Preston. Y'all say hello to Mr. Devon. He goes by SSG Devon. SG for the win. I like it. He is a fantastic guitar player. We got to share a stage last Thursday together, and both went up and played some improv guitar solos and some pre-recorded stuff. It was really fun. So everybody say hi to Devon. He's a wonderful dude. No rush, back on Wednesday. Okay, cool. I know you were out of town. And remember, please say hi to your mom for me, or give her a hug. I haven't seen her in a long time. Of course, she's been away for quite a while, but I sure do miss going in there and spending time at their place of business. We'll just call it that. Okay, so we've got this thing. So yes, your guitar is here, and I will get started on that hopefully a little bit later on today. Oh, and I forgot on this one. Let's take a look here. So there's a little bit of a sticker on the left on the when they put these things. They put these decals on here, and they make them. Now, a good way to go about getting a decal off of, or sticky material, if it's really stuck on, is your fingernail. Right? I keep my fingernails fairly, you know, I cut them short, but I keep enough there that I can use them to scrape stuff like this off of instruments. So now that I've got that off of there, but let's see, the denatured alcohol. it is pretty awesome for removing sticky stuff. And usually it won't touch the finish of a guitar. So just that little bit of denatured alcohol. You can see I got some on the finish, and the decal is now gone. Right? So denatured alcohol works great for removing stuff like that, just that quickly. And you can use it on a sticker that's been stuck on a guitar for decades, that kind of thing. If you don't like the decal, you can soak it in denatured alcohol because it won't hurt polyester finish or nitrocellulose lacquer. So that's the story. That's my story, and you just watched me prove it. So okay. And I don't know, Devon, I don't know, and forgive me for not knowing this, but I don't know if you have a YouTube channel or what do you call it, DistroKid or a Spotify channel or something like that. I've gotten away from doing that stuff because I don't write any original music anymore. I'm just doing covers, at least not right now. But you're welcome to share that information with folks on here. I want to say thanks to everybody for joining me. Preston, dude, it's great to see you. And I know you've been doing your live stream, but I've been usually very occupied on Wednesdays with other stuff, so I can't be in attendance all the time. I do my best, but I have been very, very busy with band stuff and other activities. Wednesdays tend to be pretty occupied for me, so I usually get freed up around 9 o'clock Wednesday nights on my time. So, and you're usually done by then. I usually will go back and give it a thumbs up and try to listen a little bit, but as you know, there's so much stuff going on. Come on. There we go. Sometimes they play hard to get. I'm not quite sure. This has got a dull spot right in here. Let's I'm going to take some let me set that rag aside. I'm going to try to buff this out with a little bit of a semi-chrome. I'm going to see if I can buff some of this dullness out of the finish. Oh gosh, I got my camera guy's sleeping on the job again. So I got some dull spots here on the finish. So I'm going to see if I can get rid of some of that. This kid's going to be getting this guitar, and it'll be his first electric guitar, and I'd really like it to look special for him. Because I think he needs some pretty serious motivation, and that sometimes a cool looking guitar is how to get a youngster playing guitar. That's not always true, but I think it can be helpful. Sometimes we play and hear with our eyes, so I'm happy to do that on this one to see if I can get rid of some of this gucky looking stuff here. Yeah, let's see. Pen is a high string, has high strings these days. $4. Well, that's actually not a bad number. They're cheaper than they are here in Oregon, I will tell you that. So, of course, everything in the United States is expensive right now. In the United States and Canada, the economy is really pretty terrible right now. It's been that way for about 8 years, regardless of what anybody says. far too much for everything. Okay, that's much better. I feel better about that. Okay. Alright, now we're looking pretty good. Oh, I just did that, didn't I? No, I didn't. Okay. Boy, I was looking at that thinking I put the strings on backwards. Good grief. Yeah, dude, I know. Acetone, yeah, but acetone will melt. Acetone will melt lacquer.
Can you give me a hand with this?
Sure.
The other one I think died.
What is it? Oh, the mouse?
What? The mouse? Yeah. Oh, this is a new one, but I don't know. I put in the little this part. Put in that new batteries. Oh, that, yes. Yeah. And then sometimes when you want to get away from that, yeah. I did that on my own. It just started in the floor, yeah. And then you sometimes you slowly move them down a little bit before. And this is, we can check that out at some point. This thing really, yeah. And I try to do batteries. And it could just be, you know, well, that's a much better mouse. I will tell you that right now. But I didn't know that was better. I think I found out the price of the phone. You know how I am about stuff like that. Is it functional? I'll try it on my laptop. What was needed? It's probably user error. Never. And these things also, they have microscopic power to it. Oh, shit. When you bump it on something and move it around, you got one of them. Yeah. So you use them for like that. And if I see the nicer one on your computer, that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be pissed off. Hey, that's a good one. I know. Figure out who it's for.
I got it. Cool. Excellent. Oh boy, there we go again. There goes my life alarm. Let's see, what is my pancreas yelling at me? Okay, my glucose is still high. I've taken plenty of insulin, so I'm going to turn off my alarm. Sorry about the alarms, you guys. I will apologize for that. I'm going to turn that off for about 2.5 hours. Okay, and oh geez. Okay, Justin, thank you for the message. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get some strings put on this thing. We're getting something done here. All right, and I just got a new wireless mouse for using on my laptop here instead of the old finger pad. Oh, and let's I'll bring you up here. My camera guy, he doesn't keep up really. He has a hard time. He drinks a lot. All right, so we'll show you one more time how I put strings on a guitar. Been doing it like this for, how old am I? 46 years. I've been putting strings on. I put my first set of guitar strings on one of my own guitars when I was 7. I ain't kidding. So that's how I do it. Just like that. 2 wraps, and then over the top of your wraps, and then just tighten them up to pitch, or close to pitch, and then come on. Good grief. There we go. under the string tree, 1, 2 wraps, and then over the top of your windings. Now I know Gibson and Martin and other companies will tell you to tie a knot in your guitar strings and put this through this loop and do that shit. I know they tell you to do all that stuff. I know. I've only been playing gigs since I was 11, when I started playing guitar in church. And I put my strings on like this. And I've done it the other way before, and I broke a string at a gig, right? If you've never broken a string at a gig, you're one lucky son of a bitch, or you're a liar. And this, 1, 2, 3 wraps on the unwound strings, and then over the top of your windings, and through, pull it tight, and cinch it up. And as you can see, it's a very fast process, so you don't have to spend all your time turning the machine head or using a drill. 2, 3 wraps. Oh, come on. 2, 3 wraps, and then over the top. Come on, and pull it tight. Pull it tight down here. And ask me how many times I've had a guitar go out of tune because I didn't wind it enough, or I didn't tie a knot in my string. Alright, now I have to use these bloated blue snart tuners, which I don't like. And I'm stretching the string. That's how I put strings on. Now the thing about that is, if you're a working musician, you play gigs, right? And you tie a knot in your string. Break a string at a gig. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but no guitar players takes these. No guitar player takes this. No guitar player takes one of these to a gig. Now I'm generalizing, but in general, most guys go to gigs with no tools. And if they broke a string that's been tied in a knot on the machine head at a gig, they're going to be out trying to put a new string on their guitar for 5 or 10 minutes, if not longer, trying to get that undone in a dark, shady environment. You do it like this. If you break a string, you can pull the string off of there, put a new string on, and be back playing in a minute, literally. So that's my whole statement on that. That's why I do it that way. So now I'm stretching the strings. Gotta stretch it. Where'd my... There's my... Notice there's one little... chunk of something stuck under the fret there. Not that there aren't better ways to put strings on a guitar, but I have yet to see it. And again, I'm not real nice about stretching strings. You want to be careful, obviously, not to break them, but Okay, now I'm also noticing that the bridge is lifting on this, and I want to go ahead and pin that down. So I'm going to just take care of that because I don't want this young man to have a whammy bar at this point. We have a lot of guitar technique stuff to do that does not involve a whammy bar at this point. So, oh, my knees hurt. I think, yeah, dude, you haven't obviously not been at a, I mean this. My knees hurt. Do you want to be a moderator on here? After 3 laps, you want to pass it from the bottom to the top. I do over the top of the windings. So I've got my windings here, and I poke the string. Let's say these are the windings. I poke the string over the top of them and pull it taut from this side, and that holds the windings down. And then when you pull the string tight, they get sucked up into the piece of string that goes across it, and friction at that point, which is just plain old physics, take over, and the string will not come loose. The kid is 11 years old, and he has not played at all, and he's done lessons with me for a couple of months, and he doesn't play at home. So, and the way I know that is because he's just, when he comes in for lessons, he hasn't improved. Aside from some real basic, understanding to push down on the string. But my knees hurt. Would you? Oh, okay. Cool. Let me do that. That is a moderator. Okay. My knees hurt. Welcome to the moderator world. You now hold a wrench. So I just thought I'd do that because I've been making my streams open to the public. Anybody can get on there, which for a long time I wasn't doing that because of bots and things like that. And I had a couple moments where some pretty nasty things were typed into my stream. So but I've kind of lost one of my moderators and very good friends. They kind of betrayed me a little bit, so I've kind of just left them on the back burner. So they're still a moderator, but I probably won't see them on my streams anymore. Really sad situation, but sometimes, if you have a good friend and they help people who have fucked you over, you gotta get rid of the toxicity, and it just hurt really bad. But at the same time, I'm not gonna have people like that in my circle. I don't want to deal with that sort of crap and have to deal with the type of people that he's helping. It's just complete, drama. There we go, drama. All right. Really sad. But and it's sad because the person he's helping fucked him over also, but he's beyond taking anything seriously. So, oh well. Okay. Alright. Just about got this thing ready to go. I am guessing that, yeah, now that's looking a little bit more stable. Let's see where our tuning is. Okay, give him another good stretch here. Turn the wrong machine head. There we go. Amazing how much you can stretch a string, huh? Amazing. Like I said, I'm not nice about stretching strings because the last thing I want to do is play a guitar for 3 hours while the string's stretching. This is foolish. Get that out of the way right now. See how far this string is moving. Alright, there we go. Let's check the neck relief. See where the neck's at. Okay. Let's see. No, I'm not gonna, and when you mention floating, it's, you can set the bar up so that it floats, so that you've got ability to pull back on the whammy bar and push down on it. This young man, I'm locking the bar down to the body so that he can still bend it forward, but I'm not going to give him a whammy bar with this guitar yet. I want him to get some open chords and bar chords and be able to maybe bend a note with his fingers before I allow him to use this bar, simply because you got to have some technique. My thought is, and I may put a bar on it, but I don't think so. So I've got this locked down to the body, as tight as it'll go on this particular bullet. And I think, let me look at this thing. Yeah, it's down as far as it'll go, and it's actually on the inside. It's hitting the body on that, so that's as tight as that's as far down as it'll go. Let's check our neck relief next. Okay. So here we go, and I'm using 10 thousandths, or I'm sorry, this is 12 thousandths, and it's a little bit, it's got some, it doesn't have enough underbow, so we're going to loosen the truss rod a little bit here. I'm going to move it like so, and you'll notice that on my hex key I've got this rubber shrink tubing around it to help avoid hitting the string with the metal and causing a little bit of a nick in the string. We still have a little bit, our neck is a little bit too flat, so I'm going to move it just a hair more. This truss rod really does a good job. It's moving the neck very nicely. Just a small little turn there, and we'll see where we're at. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna call that good right now. Now we've got our neck relief set, so now let's check our string action. I'm not even gonna play it until I get our string action adjusted properly. And then we'll see where we're at. So, Go ahead and have a seat here. So let's get you down here. You can see hopefully everything I'm doing here. So our low E string, our bass E string is 7/64. Let's measure at the 17th fret, 8/64, and our high E string is at 5/64. So let's get this down to 5/64. We're going to lower this quite a ways. All the string action is too high on this guitar, almost to the point where I would think about using a shim in the neck. Yeah, and I hope I've clarified with you what the floating situation is on the whammy bar, so that he can't pull back on it ultimately. And I think for the initial first few months of him playing this guitar, it's going to be a good policy for tuning stability versus having a whammy bar that will potentially see these new snarks. The older ones responded better. They're probably being made in a different factory someplace in our world, so the parts have changed and the quality has gone down. Unfortunately, sucks, but pay more and get less. Okay, I'm looking for 4/64 here at the 17th fret. And I'm also making sure to keep the saddles level with the top of the guitar. These snarks just don't respond like the older versions of them that were black. Definitely quality has suffered due to probably poor craftsmanship and poor quality parts. I love the tuners, they're really convenient, but I also like my stuff to work properly, and I'm willing to pay for it. That's a little bit high. Tiny little adjustments are the difference between having a really great playing guitar and one that kind of sucks. You know, one of the most important things you can do for a child who's wanting to learn guitar is get him a good instrument. Still a little bit high. See, the point in me doing all of this on a guitar of this magnitude, or lack thereof magnitude, is that I don't think there's any reason why a young person learning to play guitar shouldn't be playing a guitar that Eric Clapton or you know, Eric Johnson would love playing, or myself. Why would you hand them something that's not of high quality? And the best guitar to buy for a youngster is one that's set up properly. Doesn't matter if it's expensive. So we've all probably played expensive guitars that were not set up very well. I've seen lots of them. Okay, I'm gonna be bringing this treble E string down quite a bit, and then we'll intonate this thing and see how the intonation is on it once we get this treble string set to the proper string action. And you'll notice the order in which I'm doing things: truss rod first, then string action, then intonation. 3/64 is looking good. And in doing that, what I can do is look across the strings, and I can see that the strings are following the radius of the neck by measuring like I'm doing on that. It's the best way that I know of. They have the little radius string feeler things. Is a waste of time, in my humble opinion, unless you're doing something on a Floyd Rose or something like that. But D string is a little bit too tall. I'm going to back this off just a tiny little bit. And I do like to, while I'm doing this on a Strat, I do like to make sure it's in tune with each string movement, because the string tension, the neck tension is all the same throughout the setup. There we go. That's a little too far. Oops. These little things, man. This is why guitars are real easy to play or really hard to play. Now we're talking. Bring that B string up just a hair. There we go. All right, let's tune this up. Just the new snarks don't respond quickly enough is my gripe about them. Okay, now I haven't intonated the instrument yet, because that's probably changed. It may have, but I do want to check it for fret buzz things. The intonation adjustment, unless I have to move them a long ways, isn't going to make a big bit of difference on this. But let's see. Okay, looking good. My knees hurt. Thank you for joining me as a moderator, man. I really appreciate it. You know, I generally don't have to do anything, but I don't know. I think Preston's been a moderator on my channel for quite a long time, and he's probably never had to yank anybody. Alright, my knees hurt. Thank you, dude. So, let's see if the electronics in this thing work. like the intonations out. These tuners don't work. Not a fan. And the reason I don't have my 10-year-old Snark is because one of my students got out of here with it. Never loan your Snark to anybody. If you do, just wave goodbye to it. It's kind of like a capo. Okay, so we got to raise the string action on these lower two for sure. I'm going to go one full turn on both saddle screws, and we'll retune it. That fret right there is a little bit tall, so my favorite thing. Let me look at this again. Yeah, the 17th, 19th fret is 2, then 21 frets Fender. You guys screwed up.
What a shock. A Bose stereo and the CD player doesn't work.
Oh, really? I've never heard of such a thing.
I didn't want to say anything, but it was a classic. I think it just needs cleaned. Okay.
Bring this one up one full turn. So I'm just looking at the hex key and turning it one full rotation on both adjustment screws on that saddle, so that I keep it at the same level nature that I set it up with originally. It's not a good idea to just turn one side of a saddle on a Stratocaster or anything with the dual screw. So we still need to bring the treble E string up, and I'm kind of splitting the difference between knowing that this is a very inexpensive, poorly built guitar versus a custom shop guitar, or even a Mexican-made Strat. Because it really doesn't matter where a guitar is built in the world. If the fretwork isn't right, or the fingerboard isn't planed off level, there's nothing you can do. aside from doing a fret level. Or leveling the fingerboard. Not a fan of these snark tuners. I'm really disappointed that I lost my other one. This thing just doesn't sound in tune, and it's not. You can see how much time goes into taking a really inexpensive guitar. Listen to how much that string is still stretching. I think she's back in business. Now, we're going to check the intonation real quick. And let's see where the intonation is on this thing. So I'm gonna try and get my camera up here so that you can see my my tuner and what I'm doing. Just so if you've never intonated a guitar, this is how I do it. I generally do it where I'm in the playing position. And if it was my guitar and I'm using this for a gig, I would put the strap on and stand with it. But this young man is going to be seated with this guitar 99.9% of the time. You want to intonate your guitar in the condition that it's going to be played in. Because we're very sharp. So we're going to move the saddle further away from the nut. And I'm going to give this a pretty good movement because that was quite a ways sharp. You want to be careful doing that adjustment because you can break a string. See that we're still I'm gonna just give it one more little. That was a pretty good move right there. I got lucky. Usually I don't get that close. And I moved it backwards, and now the showing a higher pitch, as if it's sharper. I moved the saddle, and you know, again, I don't know how or why, because I'm a firm believer in physics, and what I just did was the total polar opposite of what physics should have. Result of physics should have been. So I'm guessing that this entire guitar is going to be sharp. Intonation is not a fast process. It can take some time. Not many guitar channels will show you this in their process and how their tuner looks. At least none that I've watched. They always hide that because they tell you that they're using some specific type of tuner, but they're probably using a snark. Because these things are, I don't know, 300 bucks. They're not cheap. Yeah, so I'm gonna, I can tell that I'm gonna have to bring all of these saddles back considerably, so I'm gonna move them all before I get any further, because overall this guitar is very sharp, the intonation. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move. Okay, now let's see where we're at now, just from the pretty good guess. We're a little bit flat. Just a little bit. I may have gotten a little aggressive. But I think I just saved myself a whole lot of... There we go. It's the process. You wonder why getting a guitar set up costs money? Well, a little bit flat. Now I've heard all sorts of people talk about doing the inner two and then the next the A and the B and then the E and the E, and I've never there we go. I've never had a complaint doing it in my method that I use. Also, I like to use the neck pickup. I wasn't using it, but I like to use the neck or the neck in the middle position pickup to help my tuner a little bit. Seems like it reads a little better. I'm going to get a copyright infringement from the audio coming from other parts of the shop today, it looks like. Boy, I nailed that one. It's a little bit flat. I'm going to go ahead and move it just a hair. But that movement, that little movement that I made after my initial measurement was definitely advantageous to speed this process up. And one little move and it's too much. Sure. Hey! Our college student just arrived. That young man has had very good parents and have taught him to save his money, and he is, I believe, paying for college by himself. There we go. So we're almost done. A little bit flat. This thing's about ready to go. right at the end of my work on this thing. Can anybody think of anything I missed? If you've watched, there we go. And that chord already sounds better. Good old E major. And Joe, forgive me, man. I haven't been able to keep up on the chat, given what I was doing. Now, all right. Get some cables out of my way here, and listen. Let's get this cable out of the way. See how this thing really. Sounds like it's in pretty good tune. Squire Strat. Pretty much works. I'd say this thing is ready to go home. Now, there are some issues with this instrument that would require there's a few issues with it. There's one big one, and that is that the fretwork up near the 21st, 20th, 19th, so frets. It's not great, and it would require some serious work. But right now the notes are clear as long as they're not bent. If you're bending up in that register of the fingerboard, it's going to require a lot more work. And as you may well know, an 11-year-old kid who's just learning to play an open E chord and then like an A chord, they're not going to be bending notes up there. And if they do, good for them, but that'll just be for fun and yanking around on a guitar. So I'm going to leave the issues that I'm finding on this. Again, this is a $199 guitar. It was built probably in 15 minutes at a factory someplace in China. So this is a Chinese-made guitar, and they don't care. Nor are they concerned with the quality of the instruments that they're turning out. They're bashing them out as quickly as they can. So I'm not going to try and turn this into a Fender custom shop Strat, but I will tell you this young man who gets this guitar, who is my student, is going to love having this thing. So I'm really happy that I was able to do this for him and his mom, who is investing in his guitar lessons. And kid really wants to play. He loves Metallica, and I'm really hopeful that this guitar will get him on the road to playing some Metallica riffs. And also, I want to give a big shout out to my tattoo artist, who had some doing in making sure that this young man got this guitar, Mr. Ethan, at I think it's called Sacred Hearts Tattoo Parlor here in La Grande. If you need a tattoo, he did this one for me. I'll show you some of his artwork. That's a tribute to my mom. And he did this one for me, which is a tribute to my stepdad. Both of them we lost, and I got tattoos to pay tribute to them and the memorial for me to have. Ethan did a fantastic job, and his detail was awesome. Made an appointment, went in and saw him. So y'all give Ethan a shout, because he helped a young man come into a guitar, and we can go into details about that, but I don't need to. So I think we're done here. How long did that take? About 2 hours to get this thing from a dirty mess to a playable, beautiful, well-oiled, well-intonated, set up guitar. And you know, aside from the trouble with the frets in the upper register of the guitar, if I did want to take the time, but I do want to take the time, but I have a lot of other work to get to, and I'm trying to do this as efficiently and economically as I can for this young man. So I'm going to say farewell. And Joe, let me check. I noticed that you've typed a few messages here. Let me see. Let's see. Tuner pots of downfall on those guitars. Oh, I think you're talking about. Yeah. Let me get that. Clear tune. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this one was $199, I think, brand new. For about 8 months. Guess my nephew doesn't want it. It sounds close to the Mexican Strat. Yeah. Hi, Camellia. Welcome. How's the Ert? I hope the Ert's doing well. So on that, I think it's time for me to say farewell. I've got a ton of other work to do, and I'm not going to take time to go live with any of that stuff. I have some very rather expensive guitars to work on, and I want to get them done. And I have a deadline for Wednesday-ish, Thursday on one of the guitars, and believe it or not, you guys, I'm going to be scalloping the frets on a Vi Signature Pia Ibanez this week. Now go look one of those up and you'll know how much this young man paid for that guitar. And I'm going to be scalloping the frets. We're talking about a 1 millimeter or so scallop on those. We're going to do a very fine, small scallop, but that's what the gentleman who owns the guitar wants, and I'll be tackling that here probably this afternoon. I've got a refret that I'm finishing up today, and then I will get started on the scalloping job. So, boy. And, you know, if you got here late, I hate to be leaving right now, but I got to go. Thanks for joining me. Thanks to my sponsors. Again, Ernie Ball, Fender, Diet Pepsi, Smiling Bill. Thank you all. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll see you soon. Have a great time. Happy Monday.